mean, you can improv a little bit. I mean, isn't that what life is a little bit? Probably. Um, but we can kind of jump into it. So I have no name for this podcast yet. I'm just gonna kind of run at it, and then you could fill it in a little bit later.
What is happening?
But for people who would be listening, I don't know who's listening already. Um, give them a little bit of background on who you are.
My name is Lauren Smith. I am a actress comedian. I do mainly comedy. Um, Writer, director, just kind of anything I can do comedy based, which is why your project was so fun because it was so far from what I normally do. Yeah, is that enough?
That's good. And with with this being kind of, I guess, your first go at like a, I mean, for those who don't know me, I this is my first time really getting into this kind of thing, and this is why I wanted to make something like this podcast because I really enjoy like other people. Like I think in proximity, which the they're the production company, Ryan Coogler's production company that is behind Sinners. They do a podcast as well, and I love these different production companies doing podcasts kind of either before in the middle or after projects because it's just like a really cool way to kind of just get to know the process more, and it's in a way for me to kind of actually learn more too. um but with you doing this being your first go at something like this, I mean, so I guess a little bit more background. So part of this was through KTL, Kick the Ladder in
hmm
Atlanta, and you know Kick the Ladder way better than I do. Would you like to try your best to explain Kick the Ladder?
Sure. Okay, so Kick the Ladder is a weekly filmmaking game done in Atlanta where you get different technical prompts based on the roll of a dice every Monday. And on Mondays, you will premiere your film. So you have a week to make your film following whatever parameters the dice give you, and it's going to be a minute long. And then you'll show your film, you'll go up and like take questions and comments. And then at the end of the show, they roll the dice for the next week. So it's just like a collaborative way to get to practice filmmaking because that's something that you don't really get to practice unless you have a project. So it gives you a project to practice with.
Yeah, yeah, I really love that um, premise around the whole idea of KTL. And I feel like I've been trying to find more different types of KTLs in the midst of their like seasonal change. I did
I
hear
know
something. Go ahead.
there's a lot of like people will do like living room ones.
Oh,
So you can just get the dice and just
oh
roll
yeah.
for yourself and like do like a little living room premiere. The biggest thing is like making your film and then showing it to a live audience. That's what makes it a film. That's what Isaac Dietz, the creator of Kick the Ladder, qualifies as a film, is like something made for a live audience.
Ooh, I like that. I yeah, I like the aspect that I was it sucked that I didn't get to see it with everybody. Both you and I were busy when they showed it. They showed it after the actual like
Atlanta
Atlanta,
Film Festival.
yeah, yeah, at like an after party thing. And I don't know who runs the KTL thing, like on the website side. It might be who Dietz, who you're just talking about, but they sent me a video, and I think I shared it with you of people watching it, and that was like really cool to see people watching something because. I mean, I don't know, you can speak to it too, but it feels kind of nice to like see something you make actually be like ingested.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Kick the Ladder, especially with like wanting to do acting, of like having so many auditions that don't lead to anything, of like getting a constant finished product that people get to see, especially with something you've made and like it's so important and personal to you and getting to like talk about that and see how it's received, how people like interpret it. It's so fun. It's such a great like creative like fulfillment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, being a photographer for as long as I have, and never really seeing you don't get that kind of presence or response from your work. It's always like either going up online or it's going to some, like it's part of a job or something like that. The closest might be a gallery, but everybody's standing around your thing for that, that time period, and then,
Yeah.
asking questions or whatnot. So that is part of what I like about the whole filmmaking process is that part of like people being able to like watch it. And what I always really want is, of course, it'd be great to watch it, but it's the feedback too. I'm all about feedback and how I can get better. And just like if nobody claps, that's even better for me because it gives me feedback that I need to do something differently next time. Um, but it felt like it was received well. But so I guess I'll go into our project a little bit more and what we're talking about a little bit today. So we did a 1 minute short. So that's part of KTL's thing is it's a weekly 1 minutes, 1 minute shorts, micro shorts, if that's the actual term, right? Micro shorts, if they're like in
Sounds
that,
right.
I think so.
It's like short film is, yeah.
Still an awesome challenge. And the parameters for that week were under a minute, um, a clock, an unaltered clock that showed 11:48 on it,
Hmm.
and why am I but four locations?
Great. Yeah, 4 locations.
Yeah,
Exactly 4 locations.
exactly four locations, which
Hmm.
we finangled creatively to make four locations work. Um, but so I think I decided like that Monday to do it and frantically got on social to try to find somebody to collaborate with on it. And you were one of the first people to respond to me. So I was like, okay, Lauren's in. We're going to do this. And did I have something to show you already or did I?
I think you sent your website and then I think gave some like general because when you had messaged me, I didn't know what you wanted my help with because like a lot of people, I do a lot of like special effects stuff.
Mhm,
So I was
mhm.
like, oh, okay, well he's doing like some like cool concept stuff, so he might want like special effects makeup or something like that. And then it was for acting. I was like, oh, okay, all right, sure.
Well,
But
I know a few actors in town, but like I well, one, I wanted to get to know the KTL people more. So I definitely I was thinking of like trying to collaborate with somebody that was already kind of a part of KTL because you guys know the process a little bit more than I do. And I was hoping to I can't remember. What I was asking originally was like, did I come to you with a premise or like an idea, or was it like I wrote it after I reached out to you?
I think it was after because you were asking me a lot of questions on like how KTL worked technically,
Yes.
and then I think at some point, I think you had given some sort of like general idea that it was gonna be like some sort of like sci-fi something.
Hmm, hmm,
And
hmm.
then I think we found the time, and then you kind of sent all the details. It all came up very quickly. So it was like
Which
all
is
within like 12 hours, you'd been like, hey, do you want to do this? And here's the idea.
which is like I guess part of I don't know. I mean, maybe you can speak to this with past KTL experiences. Do people have like a bucket of ideas already ready to go with KTL, or do they
They
like come up with it like that week?
both. So it'll be, I think everyone has like ideas that they're sitting on, and then you'll see the role, and you'll first go through the ideas that you've been wanting to do, and like, can I make that work with these technical prompts? Or you'll hear the dice roll, and you're like, you know what would be fun? Or like, just like have a different
Yeah.
idea that you go
Yeah.
with.
Something about the parameters. There's like an inspiration within the parameter that's like, oh, interesting. Like
Yeah.
the 11:48 thing, that was I love that it was pushed that it was unaltered because people would definitely try to go and fake a 11:48. I think that's what I was thinking originally when I first saw the rules. I was like, okay, like you can just make it
Just set a
11:48 all
clock
the
to
time.
11:48. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's about time, so it's like it kind of like makes the premise a little bit about time, which is helpful to kind of then like, okay, there's time involved. And then the four locations, that was the tricky part. Just like with any, I guess, short film idea is like locations, like trying to maneuver to other locations. But yeah, the idea kind of I think came to me kind of quickly. I want to say I don't think I had it until I had reached out to you, which is something I'm trying to be better about in general, is like reaching out to actors and they're like, okay, what do you have? I'm like, I will let you know. When I think of
I will say
something.
that's like a huge thing in KT. I found like I thought you had to really have everything nailed down before you got there, but so much of it is like collaboration in the moment.
Yeah.
Where like sometimes you'll show up and they're like, "Well, I know I want to make a KTL, but I don't really have anything." Like I almost never have scripts because I like to do a lot of improv based stuff. So I'll give like the storyline and characters and I'm like, "Let's just kind of see." So like that's it's all over the place. Like you were one of the most put together KTL projects I've done. Like
Man, that's
you had
cool.
like a whole thing to send where I was like, "Oh wow, I know exactly what he's wanting with this."
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the one thing that I've been working on outside of KTO is I feel like my communication style can be I'm over communicative, but I'm also sometimes like I'll over communicate without an idea. So then it just becomes like, okay, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? So over the years, I've been trying to be better about like, okay, I got to package it all together before we do something to at least so that I feel like it helps the process much faster, especially when only having a
True.
week to do it. Um, and this one, I think, yeah, I think I wrote it the day that I reached out to you is what happened, and then um, I yeah, I feel like I kind of knew immediately what I wanted to do, and then your special effects side did come in handy a little bit with the neck piece, which I wanted to portray, but I feel like we didn't really. I don't know if even people noticed it watching the actual. Um,
I had a couple people say that they liked that they only saw at the end with like
yeah,
the head turn in the park where it
yeah,
was like that made it more eerie.
yeah, yeah. Well, fun little thing that I'm learning about all of this stuff is sometimes things are more serendipity, and I had no intentions of it kind of being like that moment where you see it. And I think it's just something about the edit was just like bugging me, and that when I switched it to that, and then I think I noticed there right at the end of the edit, I was like, oh, so like that's the only time we actually noticed it because you reference
Yeah.
it by like touching it and stuff like that. Um, I guess we should talk about the story first before we kind of get there. But spoilers, 1 minute spoiler. So yeah, the whole premise was this. I think my general fear of like the whole concept around. I think it was Elon Musk talking about the AI implant in your brain and how I feel like that's a completely bad idea.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it sounds good in a way of like maybe like you can learn stuff quick. I don't know, but again, that you're starting to take away the humanity of yourself with all that, like this kind of thing. And it was just scary because it's like then it's like allowing something else to potentially control you. So I wrote that, and um, basically, you're just waking up from what looks like a long evening of working, overnight working, and there's a coffee that's already made on the table for you, and just working through the idea of with like the dialogue of like somehow it was made for you, but you're the only one there, and um, I really wanted to portray that. I mean, this is what I'm learning about filmmaking is like I'm not naturally a good actually storyteller. Like I'm struggling right now to explain the whole premise without being long-winded. But I visually just see this all playing out in my head, and I wanted to build a certain way, especially with a 1 minute. Like I tell you, with the edit on a 1 minute video, it's so hard.
Nightmare. You have to cut so like I will make the full length version of my stuff. Go, so now I have to kill all of my darlings. because I can't afford to have any of them in this time
Yes.
frame.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It was, I think the biggest hurdle for me on the edit was like, I think that the at home part was actually not that bad. It was when we switched to the park where, it takes over you, um, for more spoilers. I was wanting that tree see, like I wanted that to stretch longer, but I had already used a lot of that to lead up to that last third of the film, and I was like, I wish I had like just 2 seconds, 3 seconds to like add
Hmm.
that little bit of time there to like really let it sink in. Um, but I think too, now that we were talking about like people watching it, a lot of KTL people are used to that, probably that fast pacedness of it.
Yeah.
That I think it didn't actually matter how long I kind of stretched it in my mind. The director's cut would be way, of course, like you were saying, stretched out, but they were, I think they were in their heads, they knew that the pace had to be quick. So it kind of, the pace of their expectations already helped it.
And it had such a great story arc of like seeming like it never felt rushed, which
Mm,
I think you did a fantastic job in the edit of like everything really got to breathe so that it sunk in of like how kind of unsettling things were. So
yeah.
I think it read more rushed to you of like you wanting these beats to be longer because you did see like the full version you were working
Right.
on
Right.
versus we saw that and we were like, yeah, great.
Well, it's like one of the things that's always put me off from commercials is it's always about like quick cuts, like 2 second cuts of everything just to make that really high energy and within usually like a 30-second window. And what I love about filmmaking is you can stretch it out as long as you want, but then within the KTL 1 minute barrier you can't stretch it out as long as you want to. And we had to make sure we showed 4 locations,
Hmm.
which we finagled with you filming. So you have credit in there too of that. But you filmed just like some like get-togethers with your friends out and
Yeah.
about. Um, and I appreciate all the friends that were willing to do that.
It's me texting everyone I know. It's like 11:30 p.m., almost midnight on like a weekday. I'm like, "Hey, do you want to come by? I'm gonna like set up like a fake game night. We're not gonna play games. It's gonna take and no one can move because we have to get the clock at this exact minute. But everyone has to look like they are having so much fun right now."
Well, I thought you had, when you sent them to me, I thought you had actually had like a game night going on. Oh,
No, I set
okay.
that whole thing up.
Okay. Well, it was believe you made me believe it. That's good.
Perfect.
I was like worried too because this is like this is again another thing I have to deal with in the photography world is when you like manipulate things and make people look, so like when we're doing that or the memory thing and it's like warping and your friends' faces are starting to get all warped and stuff. I was worried that one of your friends would be like, "Can you not like warp my face like that?" But
I told them before and I was like, you're gonna be, because they were like, well, how do we look? I was like, does it matter? You're gonna be edited. It's gonna be a weird memory thing. Don't worry about it.
and it literally was like a second each thing. It was like your game night and then meeting a friend outside somewhere, um just trying to play into this idea that it's like the what was it, the new updates for like the voice verification memory, and then I think with
Memory
this
re
was memory recall, but this is where you and I, because I was asking your opinion on like that three thing and we were going to do, what was the last one that we were wrote in the dialogue?
mobility enhancements.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And I wrote that and we had to edit that said you saying that.
yeah. Which I
And
loved that shot. I thought it looked so eerie, but it was very of like that set exactly what happened versus the version you did kind of left more in, up to interpretation of like
mhm,
to me the ending could either be that the like AI thing has taken over or she's so far disconnected from it that she's now finally enjoying nature. Like I think it can read either way.
Yeah. 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 That's been a big thing that especially in the writing that I've done lately is not to try to over explain something and like leave gaps for that. And I think with the reason why I cut the darling was because partly of the timing, because if I added that there, that was leaving a lot less room, oddly, for all that stuff at the end.
Yeah.
And it just and this is like where like I find filmmaking so interesting. It's like almost like as if you know you have that like gut feeling like something's off about this, and then you do something that you didn't intend on doing originally, and then you're like, oh, this actually works way better. At least
Yeah.
for how like at least like the trying to fit all of that within a minute. And like you said, like it actually gave room for people to interpret what happens after that, you know, the memory thing. And because if you said mobility enhancements and then we cut to the park,
It's definitely the like thing in her brain is there
yeah,
because it and I think it would have created a lot more sinister of a tone
yes.
because like it because that I was like that is scary looking. That the shot was gorgeous and it was really scary, but I'm like I do think the version you did plays better with the park versus it being like she's so sinister to go sit outside versus like, oh well, is that her? Like she
She's too
seems
dark to
less
go outside.
evil. Where it's like that's what it's like she's taken over the body to like make because another thing that I thought about with your original with the mobility enhancement, I was like, she's so polite because she has the ability to like take over the body. But she's like, let the original girl wake up and like make a cup of coffee. And then was like, just so you know, I can do whatever I want.
I love especially with you having a comedy background, like getting takes like yours on things like this that have so much dark undertones. Like there's a comedy twist to it somewhere in there too.
Well,
Of
that's like horror and comedy are like the same
yes,
thing.
yeah.
So
I
it's
was gonna
like,
ask you about that. Like in we talked about that while we were filming too, of like the relationship between comedy and horror.
yeah, it's all like breadcrumbing to either like a setup or a reveal, which is like it's two sides of the same coin. It's just
Right.
is it dark or is it light?
Yep. Yep. I think the pacing in both, and oddly enough, in my like in my spare time, like I've been trying to find ways to get inspired still, but I've found myself watching a lot more comedy sketches and not only comedy sketches and stand up lately.
Yeah, I
And
love
it
stand-up.
help it really does help like hearing that and then the timing of it.
Mhm.
And of course like it's funny, I think we were talking about it too, but some of the like these newer like horror directors um come from they have a comedy background.
Yeah,
Um Curry Barker has a comedy background. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name that did Weapons. He has a sketch comedy background.
like I know I just saw Josh Rubin in like an improv show and he did like Hard Eyes, which was a horror like a horror comedy, but I know that he's done it's they just play so well
Hmm.
together. If you're good at comedy, you'll do great horror.
Hmm. Hmm. I agree.
Just
I think it's such a weird like you just don't I think that's what a lot of people like misinterpret horror too like to think is like oh the person who's making that is really like messed up and they must be like Wednesday Adams like and like they're you know
like gruesome. Yeah.
yeah but then like I was listening to um a talk given by Ari Aster and I'm this dude's funny like I can hear like the undertone of like him being pretty funny and can't remember Osgood Perkins is like a oddly funny guy too. Like it's just like they have such like this weird humor. It reminds me of high school, like my friends from high school too. And it works so well. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like so many people assume that like if you like comedy or if you like horror, like that's your whole personality. So like if you do comedy, you couldn't ever be serious, or if you do horror, you could never be funny. And it's so like everyone has so many multitudes to them. Like you can have pieces of everything. So I think it's when you see like a really good horror film and then you hear about like the director or like you hear it from them, you're like, that's a real person. They're making little jokes. Go, yeah, it's
But yeah,
they probably don't live in a world of horror.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's there is an expectation. Like, I think that all of this is setting up to like where like this genre of things has felt like, well, that's where I'm going to end up going more and more.
Mhm.
But what has been actually kind of relieving about it all is this duality between comedy and horror because my mind immediately kind of goes this way of like, oh, he's got to be like a dark person or like there's got to be a lot of dark thoughts or and then you hear like you see that um relationship between the two of them and it's like, oh, actually I don't have to think like that all the time, which is helpful and nice and I can it's I think it's and it balances you out too, which is really helpful. Like if
Yeah.
you've been doing a lot of research on something that's very dark for a concept, you need some laughing or like something to like really like get you out of that.
Yeah, you gotta bring humanity back. You don't
Yeah.
want to, yeah,
Well, like I think of like as we were talking about other directors, like I keep messing his first name up. Is it Robert Eggers that did The Witch? Um, have you seen The Witch yet? Oh no. Uh-oh. Here we go. Are you back?
yeah.
Okay. Have you seen The Witch?
I have not.
Okay. I'm trying to think of other films he's done. So he did The Witch. He did Nosferatu, the latest Nosferatu. Have you seen that?
Hmm. I've not. I've not seen many movies.
That's the funny thing about this too is the more actors I get to know, they have not actually seen a lot of movies themselves lately.
I'm working on like I went and I saw Obsession recently, which
I'm
is
seeing
like a
that
new
today.
horror movie.
Yep.
It is so scary. I like left the theater nauseous. And
I
like
saw
I
that you
don't
saw it
really
twice, right?
no, I only saw it once.
Oh, I thought I saw
Those
something about you going to see it twice.
the well, I think I posted I loved it. Hope to never watch it again.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like I saw it with a friend. I didn't really know anything about it, and he was like, "Well, let's go see it." And I was like, "All right, sure, whatever." And it was so scary, so beautifully done. The acting was phenomenal. I think the story is like horrifying in so many different ways. Loved it. Will never watch it again.
Ooh. I think it's really cool to see it almost feel like it's become a cult classic overnight like that.
Yeah.
And I it's funny, I should mention this. I booked my ticket this morning to go see it today. And the theater map has like all the seats where you can sit and you can't sit, or you can sit and you can't. And the whole back row of the theater is all just pretty much taken, and all the seats up close are like available. So like, there was like probably like 8 or 9 people that are probably going to see this today, and everybody took the back row to like, I gotta watch this from a
It's
distance a little
very
bit.
good. Get a little,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. Which also the director from that does a lot of comedy too. He does a lot
Yep.
of like sketches,
Yep.
which
Yep.
I'm like, and that's how I know it's gonna be a good horror movie. I'm like, do they have a background in comedy? I'm about to be so scared.
Well, like, have you watched Widow's Bay yet?
Mm-mm.
Dang. So that's partly why I was late because I was really trying to fit in the latest episode before I got on here. I was kind of bad with the timing there, but um, such a good mix of comedy and horror.
Yeah.
Like if
What's it
I'm trying to
on?
on Apple, which is
Watch it.
not everybody's like usual subscription, but luckily we have it right now, and I binge watched it last week to up to like episode 5. And what's really cool about it too is like it's not actually like Welcome to Derry, which Welcome to Derry is like episodes are like an hour and a half long. It felt like, or they are, but they're like 35 minutes, 45-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So they happen quick, but it doesn't feel like it's happening quick too, which is what's such just I can't remember the director's name off the top of my mind, but it's again such a really good show for like that mixture of comedy and horror. Like it's a
Yeah.
perfect mix. Like I don't want to spoil it for you. You need to watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it yet.
I have Apple right now for Margot's Money Troubles, so I will watch it.
You got to. I mean, I think just for the comedy side of that show and being able to mix in that to like help it really like just move forward so well is it's one of the best. I don't think I've ever really seen something like that, to be honest. I'm trying to think of like another horror um film or show that has comedy mixed in.
That's one of my favorite movies, The Endless, which is like a Benson and Moorhead film. I love their horror movies because they do use so much comedy. Like The Endless is about like these two brothers, and there's so much like comedy and like shared history of like silly little things that they did that it just makes everything more realistic to be scarier. Because you're like, these are not people so far removed from life that you're like, well, something like that could never happen. Like, these are real people who are now in a like scary situation.
Yep. Yep. That's what I was gonna get at with Robert Eggers is a little bit is like his stuff is like dark and scary horror for sure. But you listen to him compared to everybody else we were just talking about, and he has much a more serious tone to him.
Hmm.
And I think that's why just certain, I guess, horror directors, whatnot, like feel so separate is that mix of comedy really helps the breadth of like the pacing of it. Like you're getting pulled in one direction and making it feel real. Like you're saying, like the comedy like pulls you into real life a lot. And then they slap you with like something very dark and scary. And it helps that comedy really helps you not expect the horror part.
It's like a false sense of security. So you're
Yeah.
like, and this is back to like a slice of life, normal, just everyday thing, and then something happens, you go, oh boy, that's bad. That shouldn't have happened.
Right.
Versus like something where you go in and you watch it and the tone is just like gothic horror the whole time. There's no separation for your brain to like get scared again. You just
Right.
kind of stay at the same level the whole time.
Right. Yeah. I think with Robert Eggers is like I visually his stuff is like so amazing. I'm the visual person here. And but the dialogue, of course, he's like all about using the dialect of the time, like to the
Hmm.
T. Like he's a big research based person. And I think that's where I get lost in it, unfortunately, is as much as I appreciate him doing that, it's slightly unnecessary. And like I was just like, you'll see Windows, like there's an episode where they go back in time, but they use some of the dialect too for the time, but then they mix in comedy like when you don't expect it, which is like almost like that reverse what we were just talking about of it was like it feels serious and then there's like that little glip of like comedy and you're like, oh, there, that's that was good. That was good.
Yeah. It's just, it like gives your brain a reset to get
Yeah.
scared again,
Right.
which makes the movie worse. Well, better, but worse. Because you're like, that obsession, I want to know what you think of it because
Yeah.
there are so many like light little funny moments or things where you're like, it's just like kind of odd, but it's nothing crazy. And then just left turn, the scariest stuff that could happen.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know the last time I left a movie nauseous.
Well, yeah, I can't. I will. We'll definitely have a conversation about Obsession after I see it today.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, what drew me to that movie, which was originally like the visuals to it, and but I and knowing again, like with Curry Barker having that comedy background, and um, I hear that there's like some comedy within it too.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm excited to kind of. I go to movies now with a little bit different, like like I am gonna go with like this like soaking it in outside of the actual like just experience. But I am excited to see how that plays out. Um, I will not have popcorn in my lap because the last time I did that, I made that complete mistake of doing that, of having popcorn during something that
Yeah.
is intense. Um, uh, but like I guess with going back to our project together, I this so that was my first kind of like really try at something since a long time ago, and I didn't really have comedy in the back of my mind with the pacing, but
Hmm.
it is kind of nice to like I think go into it with this idea that I don't have to be serious the whole time either.
Yeah.
And I think with this project, if I could slightly do it differently, I think I would have made your dialogue a little bit more funnier. I'm not gonna lie. Something
Yeah.
about it could have been actually like there could have been a little something there, I think, which I could have asked you definitely more for with your background. But I just feel like you could have said something within like the conversation between you and the AI, like that's kind of like, oh, that was good. Um, where do you if you look back on it too, like where do you see that?
I could see, I don't know, because I liked your writing for it.
Hmm.
I thought that it seemed realistic for like someone who has this person in their brain who's helping them, where it's like there is a sense of familiarity, but there isn't like a friendship between them.
Hmm.
So kind of like I know the wake up line is like a bit of a joke, and then it goes immediately to being like unsure and kind of horrified because how has she done that?
Right.
So like I thought that the writing, I liked the writing because I thought it was light enough and then it took the turn when it needed to. It was
Hmm.
like a reaction to something versus it just starting with like being ominous.
Hmm.
So I feel
I
like
mean,
that's a big,
with your
it's
sketch
a big
comedy
thing I
background though,
see.
I would be
Oh,
really love to know like or like if you were to be able to like let's say I said I have no script. You're gonna improv this and I will read what I like I'll read the AI's voice to you.
yeah.
How would you in your own way like improv that, you think?
I think mine would have been so just comedy based. I think it would have gotten really silly of being like, well, what else can you do then? And then like
Oh, that's smart
getting
though. I like that.
AI to like take over for the stuff I don't want to do.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it would have just been like sketch comedy. It wouldn't have, yours had like a serious tone to it of like a story. My stuff is so silly.
But see, that's where I think that's especially where in collaboration, that's like again, like with the photography side of what I've done in the past, like it is very like like you can do a lot on your own in the photography world. But with this, the aspect of collaboration is just like 10 times higher. And what I've loved, especially just in the beginning part, like I've been trying to do some more projects lately where I'm kind of like, in a sense, co-writing it with somebody.
Yeah,
Like it's good. Like I wish I would have asked you that in that moment because then it's like, oh, that would be kind of funny if like you did say something that was just off kilter a little bit, like the unsettling nature of what it is, and then you just say that thing that kind of like, oh, and then we can
yeah,
bring it back down because it would just be the bounce back and forth between you and I at that point, rather than it just
yeah.
kind of going off into comedy in that sense.
I think there could have been like a fun line of like, I made you a cup of coffee and it's, how did you do that? Or like something where it's like, you made me make me a cup of coffee. Like something establishing that's like, you've done this to me with me or like for me with me.
Uh-huh. Like the Captain Jack Sparrow kind of back and forth of you me for you me. I like that. Yeah, no, that would have been funny. I wish we'll have to do
Give it
another
a
one.
beat of disbelief of like the comedy of like something so insane happening that you're like, wait, no, I guess, okay.
Hmm.
and then it can get into the horror of, oh, they have control over my body.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely want to explore this in the future if you ever want to do that
I'm
kind of
down
thing.
anytime.
Um, because I can't wait for KTL to kind of get back going again because I really need that. Like, I just need those parameters for me right now because I have so it's like it's vast in the sense, but then when you get so out there, it's really hard to pull it down into like actually writing something. And I think somebody showed me there's like 100-hour film thing coming up, or like a race. It's like 100-hour film
Oh,
race.
there's like 100 feet of film or something. Is that the one you're talking about?
I don't know. I can send you the link after this, but it's
Okay.
from what I understand, it's like so it's next it starts like on June 4th, and you have, I guess, from June 4th till the 8th to make a short film.
Oh, I know I know they've done like a 48-hour film
It's kind
festival
of like that,
before,
yeah. Yeah.
similar to that. But
Mhm.
it's, let's see, 4 days is what?
It
48
says
plus
100
48.
hours on the thing, so I'm assuming that's 100 hours somehow between those days.
Just a little over 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like 8 to 8 or something like
No,
that.
a little
Um,
over 4 days. My math is bad right now. Because 48 plus 48 for two, that's less than 100. Okay, good, doing good.
let's see, this is where the AI might come in a little handy, like, can you do the math real quick for me?
No, I'll just get a calculator.
Well, in it's the we can talk about AI a little bit, I guess, since we wanted to kind of go into that realm with this project in a sense.
Hmm.
Of course, there's a lot of conversation around how AI is getting into the creative space in general, especially with filmmaking. Um, and yeah, I think I've been targeted probably just a lot of stuff lately about a lot of people saying all the reasons why it's not a good idea, and I am for that. Every way people have explained it, just it's like, how is this even kind of happening? Of course, it's more money based, I think, than anything else. What's your perspective on the whole AI thing?
I mean, yeah, just on principle of like, why are we getting a robot to tell about the human experience? Like, art is a representation of the human experience, and we're getting a machine to make that. They were going, something doesn't sit right, like it doesn't feel genuine. It feels odd and off. Versus like, first, I mean, there are so many environmental problems
Yeah.
with AI in general
Yep.
that I don't think we're already doing such a bad job with the earth to add more onto it.
Yeah.
And it's not being used, it's like overused in a way where I'm like people aren't like learning and growing and like problem solving.
Right. I
Like
agree.
I know people who use AI for like it's like just you can if you just like sat and said your question out loud, you'd have the answer. But you put it into a machine that then gave you like 4 paragraphs
Hmm.
to give you something that's like you say it out loud to someone else, they go, "Oh, I think what you're thinking of this. Problem solved."
Right. Right. It's
I
not
don't
actually
use.
coming from you at the end of the day. Like, I mean, I've been very guilty of this in the past where, like, especially when Midjourney first happened, I thought it was wild to see like that happen. And I advocated for it when it started getting really good at one point. And then I mean, I think what we're starting to experience now is a bit of kind of like what I went through in this, like, this is crazy, wild, whoa. And then the fact of it not just coming from a person is what makes it then kind of like, oh, meh. it's
And
it's kind of
there are
boring.
so many like artists who want to create that I think it's dumb to like take that option away from people.
Yeah.
Like I know there's been a couple of AI projects at KTL and it is a
Really?
silent room where everyone like because they go up and they show this like machine virtual made film to a bunch of filmmakers and creatives, and they all go, why wouldn't you just talk to literally any of the 200 people in this room and have, like, you've got people who are doing like costuming, set design, special, like anything you could want for a film, there is someone in the community who is more than happy to help create your idea
Right.
and like practically create it or like virtual special effect, like to make it work without it being a weird AI actor storyline that isn't consistent because when something goes out of frame, it cannot recreate it. It comes back wrong. And so you watch it and you're like, this was bad. And
Well,
you stood up here to show it.
I think with the AI stuff, what we're gonna really start to, in a kind of like counter interesting way that is actually kind of benefit people, is I mean, we've already started to see this with like commercials. Like it's really, really bad with commercials now. But there's a feeling that we all get. I mean, it's as basic as like when you're, you know, doodling at home, to like going to an art gallery, to watching a movie. There is a something that we can never like put words to, that like we feel. And then you see something made with AI, and you watch the person who made it like be like, hey, what do you think, kind of thing. Like they're excited, but it's they're the only one that's excited at the point. Like the maker is the only one that's actually kind of like interested in what they did versus
And I
the
feel like
audience.
a lot of them being excited is because how hard it is
Yeah.
to create a story with AI because there is no consistency and it doesn't know how to be a person. So they show it and they go, look, I got this done, and it's a minute film and it's somewhat cohesive. And you're like, I don't want to watch something that's somewhat cohesive, has no story. You just were able to kind of figure out how it could look kind of normal. Because it doesn't, you just saw so much bad AI generated stuff that this looks good to you. But to
Right.
everyone else, we go, this is just bad.
Right. Right. Well, I think where I think what's going to really help like the critique of AI in the creative world, because I know there's like more, a lot there is just in general like a lot of bad feelings around like it doing what it's doing, and maybe more not enough emphasis on like the actual like companies making it sometimes.
Yeah.
But um man, I lost my train of thought there for a second. um it's just I really think that um the more we watch AI stuff, I mean, again, commercials, we are just going to start to naturally feel like we want to make something with more intention. Intention is kind of like the biggest thing I feel like around this like
Yeah.
AI art space, is like there's no actual intention other than to make something. Like you just want to show off, or you just want to be a part of the conversation. You want to be like, if I mean, again, this is where like the whole tech bro thing kind of lies, I think, in the whole AI conversation. And art is, it's a lot of people, and I've heard this argument a lot of how tech people were failed artists, and like they went that route, and now they're kind of trying to get back at the art community for not accepting them.
But you can't fail art.
You can't, no.
So for someone to say that they're doing this because they failed art, they've just given up on the art. Because you
Yeah.
can't fail at it.
Well,
It's,
it's the intentions, in my opinion, of like,
yeah,
you actually didn't really want to do the art to begin with. You were using it to get into like a social circle that you liked, or there was someone you were trying to impress, or like all the wrong reasons, the wrong
like you like
intentions to
the
get behind it.
idea of being an artist, but you don't want to create art.
Right. It's just, it's, you're trying to, I think a lot of these people are just like just trying to feel accepted in a world that felt like maybe wasn't accepting them, but they just didn't want to actually put in the work for that. But again, like, you're not, no one's going to want to put in the work if they don't actually believe in it, and that's part of where this is all disconnected.
at the end of the day, you have to make your art for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
you shouldn't make it to be accepted by other people because if it is your art, it is for you about what's important to you or what you're trying to represent. Doesn't matter how it's received. If you're making it for how it's going to be received, you're losing a part of your artistry. I think at least like you can want it to be received well, but at the end of the day, you have to make what is so important and genuine to you of what your vision was.
Right.
When you let outside influence determine things, then it's losing a bit of you in it.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, and then on top of that, when you try to convince others of it, is it's only not like it's like you it's hard to explain. It's like you are so embedded in it that you are not actually being authentically you, and then you're trying to put it on other people. It's almost like you're trying to spread that like discomfort in yourself to other people, and I think that's not kind of talked about either as like um I think we had talked about it a little bit when you were here about how like Matthew McConaughey has like um a he has like a and a lot of these celebrities and actors have like money involved with a lot of these AI companies. And that's why you don't really see them actually like really trying to like kind of speak out against it. It's because their livelihood now, they've embedded their own livelihood into it with
Yeah.
their money. And so they're not going to try to like tear down their own, you know, financial future, I guess you'd say, with their words. But that's kind of the unfortunate nature of how big it's gotten. And
Just kind of like the film industry in general, of like at a certain point, and this isn't for like every celebrity, but it's like at a certain point, it's like, are they still making art or are they just kind of making movies?
yeah.
It's like I think that's why like Obsession has gone so well, is like there aren't many new ideas being made. They're redoing things that have already been done and like trying to create a twist to it, which
Yep.
like sometimes is good, but like people want like the human experience is continuing and new
Mhm.
things are happening and you want to see like it resonates with people. If you make something that is so true and authentic to you, it's gonna resonate with someone and it's creating a sense of community and like humanity between people. And it just doesn't feel like enough of those movies are being made anymore, which is why I think there's a huge resurgence in like independent film because people are like going to theaters and being like it's just kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like they Hollywood's figured out like the storyline to follow and they keep just like switching something out in it, but we're like we've seen this before.
Yep. Yep. I think, of course, Marvel really set off that tone of just everything feeling the same. And I think with like you're saying with Obsession, I think it's got Obsession has so many layers of like the future in it, which is I
Hmm.
think why it's just really resonating and like people are going to support it even if they probably don't like horror. Like I know people who do not like to go to horror movies or like watch them in general that are going to watch it because I think they feel like something about it is part of like where we should be going with the way that it was all put together.
Yeah.
Um, and I think kind of going back into that money conversation, like Obsession, I think I saw was made with, they
It's
say like
like
between
a mil like around
is
$1 million.
yeah, between like 750 and a million. And I think that's partly where a lot of this gets um really like muddy is like the more money that goes behind a movie, this like drive to make it work is where it becomes kind of like a Marvel movie, like they're like $250 million, and there's just so much in your face about like go see it, go see it, go see it, go see it that you don't want to go see
It's
it.
like, and you watch it and you're like, I mean, it's pretty, the acting's good, like the story's fine, but something about it isn't engaging.
Right.
Like it's lost. You can't connect to it. So it's kind of like when you watch like a Hallmark Christmas movie, where like you watch it for like the nostalgia or like comfort, but
Yeah.
you're not watching it and being like,
I
and
want to
I
take something
feel
from
that's
this.
real to me one day. Like that's gonna be my
I
like
think
you're
I think there are some people who do feel that way, not gonna lie.
That could be true. Well, some of them I hope not. Some of them you watch, you go, you cannot. That's never gonna happen for you, girl.
Hmm.
It's not real.
Oh,
I think
wow.
I'm thinking specifically Hot Frosty. Have you
Hot
seen that one?
Frosty.
It's
No.
like a snowman comes to life and that's the love interest.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a big
Okay.
hit a couple years ago.
Isn't it, when you put that premise in my mind, I immediately went to verticals in my head.
It it probably would have made such a good vertical. It would have had a longer title. There would have been more sort of like some sort of werewolf or something. Someone's a billionaire, something like that, but the premise would have worked.
Mm. Yeah, what's your take on verticals?
Um, I don't have much of a take on them. I don't really watch them. I auditioned for a couple of them, but I just again, it's like the whole thing where it's like it's not something I want to create, so I didn't really care to do it. It's like they pay well, but I'm fortunate enough that like I have a pretty good regular job, so I don't need to do those to be able to afford to act, which like I know some people that is what they need to do to pay to create whatever they actually do want to create. So I'm never mad at anyone. I'm mad at like the vertical companies because I know recently they had a pretty big scandal of they were using like AI to create more like sexually explicit scenes to advertise their projects with actors' faces that they didn't get
Oh,
permission from the actors.
I think
It's
I
like a
did see something about
huge
this. Yeah.
huge issue. And then I had a friend recently sent like a side by side of they had some friends who were like in a vertical and they used AI and they like completely changed like took maybe the facial expressions in their audio but changed how they looked and like the act and like it was a completely different project. And I don't think they like asked permission for it. I think verticals are using a lot of AI right now and they're already like some of the companies are good. I know I have a couple friends who work for they like produce verticals and they're doing it like ethically and not trying to like take advantage of a bunch of actors, but a lot of them are like bad. And you just don't really know because so many are being made.
Well, it's funny. Verticals have existed before this term verticals really took off, and I think the term verticals is more so coming from these like really just money grab, like the money grab, like creative. Because again, going back to
Paywall.
Curry Barker, where it's like his sketches where these, I mean, they're TikTok videos really at the end of the day that they make, and that's technically a vertical. It's made to be seen on your phone
Yeah.
in a short form, in a short time format. But I think then it's like people see the success of those and then they try to spin it into that type of genre, and now it makes just look like it makes it very off-putting. And well, again, what's helpful in the sense is making people appreciate the actual like attempts at horizontal,
Yeah.
dramas or something like that. It's making people want to actually see those more because of how bad they are.
I agree. I think all of the like use of AI in so much stuff and like this just like creating films for like cash grab has really made people want to like I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll write a feature. Maybe I'll come up with a story that I want to make. Because I'm like, there aren't enough new things that I want to see. And it's frustrating because it's like, I know that the industry is doing so much and like so much stuff is being created, but it's not original.
Right.
Which like not for everything. Like I just watched Margot's Got Money Troubles, which I thought was fantastic based on a book. But even that I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do for season two.
Well, they
So it's
that's I again, I'm not much of a reader, and I think this is
is it a
where
series?
I don't know. I think it's just one book. I'm not gonna I don't want to completely jump at it, but what you're hitting on about the book thing, and I came across this argument about how this idea of like originality and people, even though some of these book adaptations that are being made into TV shows and films are like somewhat successful, something about them still isn't hitting very well. And I mean, it's going back to the whole obsession thing of like it's because it's just not, you're just adapting, you're taking IP from something else that was successful. You're just trying to morph it into another version to make more money at the end of, like, again, this intention
I think
cycle.
it depends on like if there's passion behind the adaptation.
Sure. Yeah.
So like I think like the Marco one I thought was great. I think it reads as like people who liked this project because like none of it really makes sense, but it works so well and it feels so authentic to be so like weird of a storyline.
Mhm.
But then like I remember seeing oh it what like it was the Blake Lively movie
Oh, yeah.
that they I don't remember what it's called like It Ends
The
With
one
Us
that
or something
was
like that.
the one that, yeah, got
Big
the whole,
controversy.
yeah.
Where it's like there just didn't feel like like again they sold it as like a romantic comedy when it's about domestic violence where it's like there was such a disconnect on what the book was and what the movie was that I it's like there was no passion in that adaptation. The
Right.
adaptation was made to make money based on
Exactly.
the success of the book.
Yeah. Yep.
Like you have to have passion to create art. Otherwise it's not art, it's just like a financial tool.
Oh yeah. I think and what's funny about this this period in a short amount of time actually is like how, so there's Obsession. We have Obsession coming out right around the same time Backrooms is coming out. You don't know what Backrooms, the back, it's like that whole like um it's been around for a while. It was like what was it? It originally started as just like a picture on like 4chan or something like that. And then like they just built this whole, like the internet basically just built this whole world around this one picture. It was like a liminal space, like a liminal office space. And then this one, the kid who's directing Backrooms kind of like took that to on and like started making like a lot of short films and stuff on YouTube. And then I guess it garnered the attention of um I think um who's doing it, A24, and then they're making a feature around it. And um but part of it is it's just weird timing, and I think it's, if you're like me, a little bit of woo woo, like the universe in a way, speaking of just like this is all happening at the same time for a reason, to show us like the importance of being as original, like Obsession feels. And then you have Backrooms, which is an original concept, but it was like a lot of money got put behind it. So the
Mm.
expectations changed. And it's the optics of it all were not very good. It's leading, I mean, it hasn't come out yet, but the optics have just started to feel a little off with that movie.
Yeah, I feel like people when you hear something has a big budget, it feels less likely that the director got to just create
Right.
what they wanted because then there are so many like producers and execs who have final say in something versus like the person who's supposed to be in charge of the project. Versus like a smaller budget, it's less of a worry of if it's successful or not because it didn't cost as much money. And I feel like tend to end up better because it's the director's exact vision.
Right.
Best it could be. There are too many people in the project of like the conception of it when the budget gets too big and everyone thinks they have the right idea. So then there's no one idea.
It's the cooks in the kitchen analogy. And,
Yeah.
but it's like, I'm okay with cooks in the kitchen as long as you know how to cook, kind of thing. Not you just want to be a part of, the kitchen because you've
Well,
never done it before.
you all have to be working on the same recipe.
Right.
I
Right.
think it's a lot of people are like trying to cook different things and then what ends up at the table, you're like, this was not a good combination. You should not have put these ingredients together.
Right. Right. And I feel, and this is again, this is so fascinating about coming from my photography world to filmmaking is not only do I feel like I have to get it right, but then you kind of have to put the right pieces around it. And I've talked to some actor friends too, not only actor friends, but like crew people about this of sometimes like you not getting chosen for something isn't because you were not good. It's just you're not fitting the texture of the story. And that's fine.
Yeah,
It's not about you. I always put it as like the texture of what we're trying to go for. And it's okay to do that kind of in the beginning, I guess, because you're just learning. I feel like that's what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, like you have to have the right pieces for like something to be like a really big success. Obsession is again put together very, very well.
yeah.
Um,
That's what you're mentioning is something that it's been really fun for me to learn of like making my own films because I never thought I would. And just I act in a lot of my stuff because I know exactly what my vision is for it.
yeah.
And it's so fun to edit and be like, what I've done is not important. Like when I was doing it, especially for my first ones in the moment, I was like, I need to be making the exact right acting choices. And then when it's in the editing room, it doesn't really matter. It's like, I just need something to move the story along. All of the stuff I thought was important, I'm like, actually doesn't work. Like I did the same thing over and over again. I'm like, I need to be doing it different ways because it doesn't work in that way. And that's all I have now.
Hmm.
It's like, it's everything is so important, but also it's so unimportant to like the overall story.
Yeah.
Like I think it's easy to put so much weight on it. It's like, no, you're just moving the story along.
Yep. I mean, and
So
that's why it's good to again collaborate with multiple people because the input can kind of actually help you step away from it and not like try to clinch it with like this is my like I gotta get this right. It's like this
yeah,
story is like means so much to me, and it's like, well, it's not going to resonate with a lot of people if you don't like take some feedback and like adjust hearing certain feedback and collaborating with other people.
yeah,
Because I feel like that's where again what was helpful with our project is of course not working with you on like the actual making of it, but like I don't know if I asked too much, but I was like constantly asking for your feedback on like what you felt about certain things because it's like this just can't. I'm not gonna just make this and then I'm gonna watch it by myself all the time.
yeah. I think it can also be easy in because you have the whole story in your head. You created it. So when you watch it, you pick up on all the things you need. So it's so important to like get other people, like because it's a visual medium, you have to see like, hey, are you guys getting this? Or like, is this too on the nose or is this unclear? And like figuring out how to get the story across to people who don't have the story in their brain like you do.
Yeah, I think it's you know, and I think the people who learn the most from that in that way that aren't collaborative, they make something and it doesn't get received well. Like that should be the sign that you need to collaborate more with people. Um, and just hear more perspectives because it's this I've been saying this and this is going to sound bad but with the photography side I've always felt more like it's like how I want it to like or it has been more about me like I feel like I've been making things for myself but with filmmaking I've it's been one of the first times like I really want actually cared a lot more about who's looking at it and it's it sounds odd, but it's actually been really nice to experience that desire to want to make something that other people will receive in a good way. Um, because at the end of the day, it's just like you won't be able to really move forward and like actually do it more often without them. And if you feel like a certain like if you're trying to say something within your film, um, you hope that other people like resonate with it and it starts a conversation and um some of my readings lately have been really cool because it's like I've been telling people I've always wanted to have a lot of philosophical conversations with people.
Hmm.
And for some reason, the readings have been those where it's like we'll go over something and then it's like, okay, why did we do that? Or somebody will ask me, why did you write that? Or why is it this way? And then I explain, and then we can have a back and forth for an hour and completely like lose track of what we were supposed to do. But um, it's fun. Like it's such a. I wish more people would do it, kind of thing. Like I wish more people would just have these conversations and lose track of time. And um, I feel like I I think we're in a really good space when it comes to filmmaking now because you're right. Like something about independent filmmaking is starting to really bubble up, and it's just going to start more conversations that we need to have, I think.
I think all of these like creative people seeing bad films are going, I can do better than that, and like
Hmm.
finally getting confidence to like try
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
'Cause it's like if that's what they're making, I can do something better than that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then they do. Eventually. It's
Yeah,
a learning curve, but
it is a learning curve. Yes,
you have to
I
start
think.
somewhere.
um I won't. I'll try to wrap it up now because I know that we have gone all over the place, which is totally fine. um But what do you look forward to doing in the future, just for yourself, in terms of like the filmmaking side? Because is it right? You put out your first actor reel on
I
social.
did.
That
Yeah.
was that's cool. How does that feel?
It was very rewarding to get to
Mhm.
see kind of how many different projects I've gotten to either like be a part of or people have been willing to help me with. I did find that I want to do more of like a comedic reel because I think I kind of fell into this narrative of like if you're gonna have an acting reel, it needs to be all very realistic and like grounded stuff. And so watching it, I'm like this. I like everything on there, and I think my friend who put it together for me did a phenomenal job. But it doesn't feel very authentic to me and like how I want to present myself as an actor. So I'm still kind of working on that.
Mm.
But I'm wanting to still do all of the comedy that I love to do, but I am also wanting to branch into horror because I love really eerie, creepy stuff, and I love like special effects creature work. And so I'm trying to like figure out how to combine everything and like have all these different facets of my interest and still think that all of them are worth pursuing.
Well, you could write something if you want to. You can, mix. I mean, I was talking to another actor friend of mine yesterday about this, and it's like, oh, I wish I was more involved in this or more. I was like, why don't you write
Just do
something like,
it.
yeah, make something around it, just so that it's like one, you can show other people that that's possible, and two, you're showing yourself that it is possible to like kind of do it yourself, and or like not do it yourself, but build that world for yourself and not have to kind of wait on others maybe to like find you.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
hoping to do.
good.
Create more of the stuff that I want to be in.
Hmm.
Or even like I find I really like directing. I never thought I would. So I'm like, maybe I want to like write a project that I don't have to be in and I could really just focus on creating what I want it to be.
Right. Well, I mean, and we can kind of slightly end on this part, but it's kind of what we're going back into, this idea of like money and like the expectations. I think that's where we get a lot of like, I think, especially for me, like the idea of directing a film was always like a weird, like, that sounds like really intense and a lot of pressure and all
Like,
these
I'm not a
things.
director though.
Right, right. I don't consider myself that, but I think that pressure is actually just watching these massive films with a big budget and expectations there, and just like, but I'm not there yet. So why am I like putting myself in that category like of pressure when I haven't, like the smaller things will actually show you that it's not really what you think it is. It's actually
Yeah.
way funner than you thought. And there's actually there, I mean, there is pressure, but there's just like it's just fun. It's like a fun kind of pressure to
Like
experience.
pressure of creating, which is the pressure that's always there when you make art of will this be received?
Yes. Yes.
It's like your vision, is it gonna work how you want it to?
Right. Right. I think, you should write something based on what you're wanting to do. That'd be interesting to see. And um, I think more people should do things like KTL. I'm going to put that out there because I've been putting KTL on blast since we did our thing, and um, I think it's such a good idea. Um, and I can't wait to see like more support around it so that it can kind of flourish without having to kind of like maybe wait for venues and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they're working on expanding it so people can start like a KTL show in whatever city they're in.
That's
So
awesome.
like they just had their first high school who did their own KTL
I think
show
I saw that.
for
Yeah.
all the students. Yeah. So it's not, you don't have to be in Atlanta to be in KTL.
Hmm.
You can do it anywhere with whoever is around.
Right. I think that would be a really cool. I mean, just getting, if you're not from Atlanta, you can still go to the website and roll the dice for yourself on the website.
Yeah, though I think they have something for like if you're wanting to try and set up a show where you are of like how to do it, what you need to know.
That's cool. Hmm.
Yeah,
Well done, Deets. I like that. Um, well, thank you, Lauren, for talking to me about this project. And I can't wait to collaborate again with you on something funny.
yeah. Like
Bye.
funny or scary, who's to say?